Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is trying to produce a Republican bill that would muster the necessary votes to pass an Obamacare replacement. It's going to be a tough slog for the next 3 weeks as Republicans fight over that bill. Joining us now is Genevieve Wood, Senior Advisor at the Heritage Foundation. Nice to see you.
Good to be here.
One of the new proposals is from Senator Ted Cruz of Texas and Mike Lee of Utah. And their plan aims to lower premiums for people who are healthy. But that's not appealing to moderates? Why is that?
Well, it's a good question. We might want to ask a few folks over there.
I don't quite get it.
Yeah, well, it's called the freedom option because basically what it says is that any plan that is offering an Obamacare plan should also be allowed to offer a plan that has fewer choices in it in terms of, or fewer mandates, I should say, in it, which means that would be more options for people. They could buy the Obamacare plan, or they could buy a plan that had fewer regulations in it, making it cheaper. And that's been the whole big debate here, Lauren, as you well know. Pricing of premiums and health insurance plans have gone through the roof for many Americans. This would say this is a way to get them down.
The White House supports this proposal and is pressuring the GOP to make it happen. Are the Republicans getting the message? This is a tough sell.
Well, look, the Republicans, as you well know, for 8 years have promised they would repeal Obamacare if they got elected. And frankly, neither the House bill nor the Senate bill actually goes far enough in doing that. But I would argue the Senate bill gets you steps closer. It allows states in many cases to take on more responsibilities, which means depending on what state you lived in may determine the kind of health insurance options you have. But at least then you'd have options. You'd be able to see what works, what doesn't, and we could move on from there.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he is willing to work with Democrats to help pass the bill. Do you see this happening?
I'm not really sure what Democrats could add to this debate, but I mean, look, they want a single-payer system. Bernie Sanders is sitting out in the wings waiting for this all to fall apart among the Republicans and saying what we need is a single-payer option. If the Republicans allow this to fail on their watch, I think a lot of voters are going to blame them, and rightly so. They've made promises they're not keeping. If they do get blamed for it, you may have Democrats come in and say, look, we have another option, which is everybody on the government dole. If you think Obamacare is bad, that's going to be even worse.
Or they're going to say vote the bums out,
well,
right?
I mean, that might be true too.
On the ballot in 2018 that this could be a big problem if this health care bill isn't passed.
It absolutely will be. And look, something that I think your viewers will be very interested in, this is a lot about health care regulations and premiums, but what also is mixed in there is the pro-life issue. The Senate bill currently right now as it stands would defund Planned Parenthood for a year. That was another promise that Republicans made to go after that funding. If they don't pass this health care bill, I don't see them doing that as a standalone or adding it to any other measure. So that would be another failed promise if they don't get this through. And
they're talking now, at least today in the briefing, about tax reform. So how do you not pass health care and then be able to pass a tax reform bill?
Well, I think it would be tough because they're also coming up against the budget deadline. They're coming up against the debt ceiling. And as many people know, we don't have just endless amounts of dollars in Washington. Healthcare dollars and spending is getting more and more out of control. So how are you going to pay for some of the tax reform as well? It's going to be a tough slog for them.
Genevieve Wood, thank you so much for joining us, Senior Advisor at the Heritage Foundation.